And welcome back to Daily Wrap. We mentioned a new Gallup poll earlier this week that found half Americans would never elect a socialist to be president of the United States. But how would Americans feel about a senior confidant to the president who happens to come from a long line of communists? The conservative watchdog group Judicial Watch has obtained official FBI documentation that shows trusted senior advisor to President Obama, Valerie Jarrett, you've heard of her, comes from a family of communists, including her father, maternal grandfather, and father-in-law. According to FBI files, Jarrett's father, Dr. James Bauman, and her maternal grandfather, Robert Taylor, both have had business partnerships with a paid Soviet agent who later fled to Prague after getting charged with espionage. Jarrett's father was also a member of a communist sympathizing group, the Association of Interns and Medical Students, which has a long history of engaging in un-American activities. It's an odd name to have if you're engaging in, that sort of activities. You're an intern and a medical student. Anyway, Judicial Watch also discovered that Jarrett's father-in-law, Vernon Jarrett, has appeared on the FBI Security Index and was actually considered a potential communist saboteur who was assigned to write propaganda for a communist group in Chicago. And if these allegations weren't enough, Judicial Watch acquired records back in 2008 connecting Ms. Jarrett to a string of real estate scandals, including several housing projects operated by convicted felon and Obama fundraiser Tony Rezko. Not to mention her involvement in covering up then Attorney General Eric Holder's involvement in Fast and Furious. Okay, Rick, is this information remotely relevant, or should we be discussing this in further detail?
It's really hard to know where to begin, so I'll just say, what's Rezko got to do with it? Has anybody said he's a communist?
I don't believe so.
I don't think so
Next
either.
week.
So we could, I guess we're doing a laundry list of Valerie Jarrett's greatest hits. But, the fascinating thing, you just gave this whole history, right? Mm-hmm. We started at the beginning by saying that they were communist, or that these files say that. You know what? In that whole history, never does it say that they were communist. They had a communist relationship with somebody who was communist. They this, they that. Never does it say they're a communist. Number one, in this country, we don't do that. Number two, so what if they were? And why is it being discussed with 1 year left in the term? It's all kind of ridiculous, right? Why are they bringing it out now? Valerie Jarrett's been there since day one. Now all of a sudden, it's a big deal that her father had associations with communists.
No, what I want to know is that
I hate to be blamed for things that my family have done in the past.
Sure.
But if it supports my narrative, I will.
I won't.
No, we do preview these things during the break. Sometime you brought up a very interesting point around why the FBI kind of has this documentation in the first place.
Well, I was not familiar with this story, so that was fascinating. And there's three different layers to this thing, and I think a lot of that information about her involvement with slumlord extraordinaire Tony Rezko is far more substantial than anything that has to do with her genealogical background. And it's kind of muddying those waters.
Yeah, right.
The United States kept a lot of documentation on individuals who were suspected of being involved with communism or the Soviet International back when this was a significant threat to American national security. And to have those documents is not unheard of, but it is deeply disturbing that they would be coming out now. They really are not relevant to Valerie Jarrett personally, and I think it is kind of disturbing that they exist. However, having ties to Soviet agents, maintaining contact with individuals who are recruiting you for Soviet involvement and possibly sabotage, that is absolutely the province of the FBI, and that is absolutely something that they're able and eligible to do, and I don't necessarily think we shouldn't know about that. The fact that they're coming out now is just...
But from what we've said, is nowhere so far that we're aware of was that the issue. Nowhere are they accused of having been recruited or potentially recruited.
But none of this has to do with Valerie Jarrett today.
So in other words, can I just say, Noah, you agree with me?
I guess
we're going to be engaged before the night's over, folks.
You're killing me.
I mean, look, fortunately, communism doesn't run in your DNA. It's a choice, and you can be indoctrinated by any of the all people around you. And we can make that case about Obama too, because a lot of the people he surrounded himself with were socialist, communists, things like that. But at the end of the day, Rick's right. Sorry.
I'm very proud of you guys. You're taking a very American
there's a year left.
Now I'm proud of you. I'll get over it soon.
I'll go with this narrative because I like it. It fits what I have to say, and I don't like her anyway. So go ahead, fire away. But I think that there's a year left, and we just need to move on.
I think the part that you brought up about as far as muddying the waters, and Rezko, and then we have communists. It's just a matter of just taking a whole bunch of stuff and just trying to see what sticks and see if it goes from there.
Is that her associations with the communists is just it's a below the belt attack.
And by the way,
whereas that's substantive, and you can just dismiss everything.
No, you're right. And by the way, there have also been accusations hurled her about her relationships as a Muslim because she was born in Iran. Why? Because her father, who's connected with communists allegedly, was over there on a program when they were our friends, running a children's hospital.
Yeah. That's equally slanderous. And it has a lot to do with the very same mentality of being in an international conflict. That,
they're digging.
Yeah.
I think they're digging on this one.
You guys did good. I like what you had to say. Even you, Higby.
Wow. Fist bumps and everything,
fist
huh?
bump.
Amazing. I just want to be there at the family reunion. They have those a lot on July 4th. I got to be at the Jarrett family reunion. She's born in Iran. Yeah. She's got Putin's going to show up probably. It's
on a horse
be
with no shirt.
On a horse like you did tonight. We got pictures. Anyway, coming up next is potluck time. This is the Daily Wrap. Do not go anywhere.